So today I'm talking about a Toyota with the P1605 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. And so what is a Toyota P1605 code? Well, it's engine rough idle. And what does this mean? Well, basically the engine's not running correctly. When you first start up the car, after 5 seconds, the computer's seeing that the engine's running at like 400 RPM or lower than that, and that it's having issues. So it's going to have to be troubleshooted. Know why? And this code is very similar to lean codes. So if you dealt with other lean codes like a P0171 or a P0174, it's very similar to that. And one thing to note about a Toyota with the P1605 code is that it can be kind of hard to troubleshoot sometimes, since it can be caused by so many different things. And so for this reason, be sure to pay attention to any other codes that you're getting, because they can help point you to what the cause is. And so what are some possible causes of a Toyota with the P1605 code? Well, the first thing that could cause this is the intake air leak. And basically all the air should be going through the throttle body that's going into the engine. And if air is getting into the engine around this, then it's going to cause an intake air leak or a vacuum leak, and that's going to cause issues. There's some different ways to go about testing for an intake air leak. Some mechanics use a smoke machine and they'll feed air into the air intake, and then wherever the smoke comes out, they'll know where the leak's at and they'll be able to fix it. Some mechanics will use a spray like starter fluid or something like that. They'll start up the vehicle and then they'll go around, and wherever they think the leak's at, they'll spray the spray, and if the engine idle changes, then they know they found where the leak's at. So there's some different ways to go about trying to find an intake air leak, but the first thing that could cause this is an intake air leak. And the next thing that could cause this is some kind of fuel related issue. And this would be something like a weak fuel pump, a clogged fuel filter, or something along these lines. And so again, there's some different ways to go about troubleshooting this. If you could do a fuel pressure test, this would tell you if you have a fuel related issue. Toyota doesn't make this easy since they don't have easy ports that you can attach to. Like some vehicle manufacturers, they'll put a port on like the fuel rail where you can attach a fuel pressure gauge. Toyota doesn't make this easy. So if you do use this method, you'll have to use some extra attachments and put in like a T or something along those lines. There's some good YouTube videos on that. But basically you check to see what the fuel pressure is, and say your Toyota is supposed to be running at 50 PSI, but for some reason it's running at 30, then you know it's a fuel related issue. But the next thing it could cause this is some kind of issue going on with the fuel delivery. And the next thing that could cause this is some kind of bad sensor. And this would be something like a bad mass airflow sensor or a bad manifold absolute pressure sensor or something like that. Because if one of these sensors goes bad, they might just be reporting bad information back to the computer and just throwing everything off. Although usually when a sensor goes bad, you're going to get another code. So for example, if you had a bad mass airflow sensor, you get like a P0101 or something along these lines. So for this reason, if you're getting other codes, be sure to pay attention to that. But the next thing that could cause this is a bad sensor. And the last thing on the list is going to be something's going on with that throttle body. There's some kind of issue going on with it. If you look at your throttle body, you look down in there and it looks really super dirty like this. There's a lot of buildup on it and things along these lines. It's a good idea to go get some throttle body air intake cleaner. And basically you spray inside of there and you use like a small toothbrush and a rag and you just clean out all that grime and all that dirt and everything that's inside of there. And that quite often solves a lot of issues. One thing to note is that if you do use throttle body air intake cleaner, when you first start up the vehicle, it will run badly for like 30 seconds or a minute or two until that throttle body cleaner is all burnt away. But once it is burnt away, then the engine should run better. But the last thing on the list is going to be there's some kind of issue going on with the throttle body. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to give a basic overview of how you go about fixing a vehicle with the P1605 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me. I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.